Welcome to the Mystic Access Podcast, where the magic is in learning.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the November 17th episode of the Mystic Access Podcast. She's Kim.
He's Chris.
And we have holiday delights to talk about today.
Lots of them. So hang on. And we want to tell you before we jump into all our holiday delightful announcements for you, because we do have several to unpack here. But please stay tuned. We have something special that we're going to talk about later. And we have two, not one, but two castle interviews today with two lovely ladies, which I'll tell you all about a little later. But first, holiday delights. Where shall we begin?
We shall begin at the current running coupon of Silver Bells. So
Yes.
if you use Silver Bells during checkout, you can save 10%. Silver Bells ends on Friday, the 20th of November, 2020. It does not work on sale products. So, for example, we haven't announced it in our podcasts or out to the public as of yet, but a couple people have stumbled upon it, which is our upcoming Windows 10 tutorial, which
It's
is
finally out for pre-order, y'all. Yay!
yes. So the Windows 10 pre-order has a pre-order price. Right now, it is set to $69. The product itself, when it's released, will be $75. So you save $6 currently, but Silver Bells will not work on that.
So just remember where it will and will not work, because you're already saving on that, so you can't save more on that product. But it does work on a lot of things. It will work, for instance, on our fairly newly released Fire Tablet tutorial. Yay! That's out too.
The Fire Tablet tutorial has finally been released, and it is quite a monster.
So proud. Whoa. I'm very pleased with it, y'all. I really hope those of you who have Fire Tablets will enjoy learning more, or those of you who have ended up with one under your tree at some point and went, what am I going to do with this? Now you know how to use it. And now you may be interested in perhaps buying one for a friend, either a tutorial or a Fire Tablet, or both, whatever you want to do, or sharing with your friend that Fire Tablets are now accessible, point them toward the tutorial, let them know that they can get material that will assist them. It's a really cool device for a relatively inexpensive price tag, and you can use it. And I'm really proud of how this thing turned out. It's 8 hours in duration, and I'm really pleased with it. So I hope you guys will like it.
One thing I did want to mention, we currently have in the shop, first, a second generation Echo Dot that comes with our tutorial. That is up there if you want to purchase it. We also have 3 third generation Echo Dots, which are also available. We will not be stocking them in the future, but I was going through inventory and found them and decided to put them up. So if anybody wants to purchase an Echo Dot along with the tutorial, it's up there.
Absolutely. Now, the second gen dots are really good if you want to hook it into a stereo or something like that, or if you strictly want to listen to news, podcasts that are essentially talk podcasts, things like that. It really isn't as good a speaker as the third gen dot, but it's lonesome. So I hope one of you will buy it, because it can be a really helpful little device. It also has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, so it's very easy to connect to something else if you want to just connect it via auxiliary, and you can do that and listen to something while still using your ALEXA prompts and commands and things like that. So it is a handy little device, and hopefully it can find a new home for Christmas. And the third gen dots are really nice. If anyone wants to purchase a tutorial with a third gen dot, they are available from us. When they're gone, they're gone. Or if you want to purchase a really nice gift bundle for a friend, they are available for you.
The next thing we have are Black Friday sales. So for those of you that aren't living under a rock or in a cave or something like that, Black Friday is coming up, and it is the day after Thanksgiving. It is on the 27th. However, we are thankful for all of our customers, especially this year.
This year, yes. We're starting the party early.
We are, and it's a day early, but it's nonetheless, it's a little party. We can extend the sales a little bit. The sales are...
First, let me give you dates before we talk about what the sales are. So it starts the 26th, which is Thursday, Thanksgiving Day here in the States. And sales end on December 1st at 11:59 p.m. So you have through Giving Tuesday to make your purchases at Black Friday prices. So here we go. Here's what we are offering this year. You can buy either of our phone sanitizers and get $5 off of a set of reversible micro USB cables. So that's kind of nice if you want to perhaps give the cables and keep the phone sanitizer, or vice versa, or give both as a gift, or keep both for yourself. I love our reversible cables. They're really awesome, and we've gotten rave reviews on them from people. If you would like a pair along with one of our phone sanitizers, you take your pick of which, you can get $5 off your set. So that will bring them to $14 as opposed to $19, which is a great buy because you get 3 sets of cables for that. So that's cool. In terms of the phone sanitizers themselves, you can get a larger one that fits more stuff. So you could put your stream in it, for instance, or
A blind shelf phone will fit in there quite nicely. The biggest thing I think that I've tried in it is a Victor Stream, and it did fit. But you can put your toothbrush heads in it, your jewelry in it, and stuff like that. That is a 5-minute sanitizer, so it sanitizes your stuff, and it takes about 5 minutes to do so. The other one is a 15-minute sanitizer. The cavity is not as deep as the 5-minute. However, it does offer wireless charging capability, so you can put your iPhone SE 2020, iPhone 10, Android phone, iPhone 8, anything that really supports wireless charging, you can put it in there, and while your phone is sanitizing, it will charge the phone.
absolutely. So if you just want to top it off, you have the ability to do that. Feel free to check those out. They're in the same product. You'll just need to choose the radio button for the one you want to look at. You can read about and listen to samples for both those phone sanitizers. So that's one special we've got going on. Then we have 10% off almost all hardware. And you're going to discover in a couple minutes that is a really exciting thing because, well, you'll see in a few minutes. But yes, 10% off all hardware, except for one piece of hardware, which is our MIFA Bluetooth speakers. If you buy one of these as a single purchase, you can save $10 off of it. So we do have a MIFA bundle, and that's why I say buy one MIFA, because you can already save pretty good amount. I just can't remember which is more of a savings to you guys if you buy 2 MIFAs as a bundle or if you buy 2 MIFAs this way.
I think it is the buying 2 separately and adding the discount. I think you get a better deal.
So if you would like a MIFA or 2 multiples, you can use this special, buy 2, save $10 off each one. And these are great little speakers. The sample is available on the website for you, so you can check it out. But they're great. They're little. They're probably, 4 inches across or something? They're small.
3 by 2.
3 by 3 by 2. So, see, they're little. They would make great little bitty bookshelf speakers if you want to get one on either end of your table or counter or bookshelf, whatever you want to do there. And they sound pretty great. And they're just really nice Bluetooth speakers. They have really nice tones instead of voice prompts. So, they're really great. So, that's a fun offering that we have. So those do not get an additional 10% off hardware. The $10 is what you get.
I did want to clarify something. When Kim says hardware, there are 2 pieces of hardware besides the MIFA that are not included in pretty much any sales, as they're just not. And that is the blind shelf phone by itself is $349, and there are no discounts on the blind shelf phone. Also, the Inside One Windows 10 Braille tablet, that of course is not included in the sale price.
Yeah, it's already on sale. So you can check that out on its own. We aren't giving it any additional discounts. Speaking of blind shells, if you would like a blind shell and you would like to save some money on a case for one, then if you buy a blind shell from us, and you have to buy the blind shell in addition, you will save $15 on a case. So you can get a case for $20 instead of $35 if you choose to buy a blind shell phone. So that's kind of nice. Saves you a little extra money on one of the cases for it. I mentioned our cables a second ago. We have reversible micro USB cables. We have really nice nylon lightning cables and really nice nylon USB-C cables. All 3 come in sets of 3. So you'd get 3 micros, 3 lightnings, or 3 USB-Cs. If you chose to buy a lightning, a micro, and a USB-C set of cables, you'll save half off of one of those sets. So they're normally $19 a piece. This would save you almost $10 off the price of 3 sets. So you pay $50-ish as opposed to $60. So that can be really nice and get you some really nice cables for your cable collection if you need some really nice cables of various types.
So you have 3 cables that come in a set. And for the micro USB and the USB-C, those cables are 1.5 feet, 3.5 feet, and 6.5 feet. The lightning cables are just 6 feet, all 3 cables.
So if you are an iDevice user exclusively, or you just happen to have several, or you have one, your spouse has one, maybe one of your kids has one, that's a great set because each of you will get a nice 6-foot cable. The final Black Friday special we have going on is one of my favorites, which is buy almost any of our audio documentation products and get one half off. That's a really good deal. And you can save a significant amount of money that way.
Right, so you could buy a Victor Stream tutorial and get cutting the cord for half off. You can buy the Acquainting Yourself with Android tutorial and get another one half off. And that's kind of how that works. And what it does, it takes the lesser value of the 2 tutorials and cuts it in half. So you can't buy a $10 tutorial and get another one at a higher price for half off of that higher price tutorial. It basically would be the reverse. You pay the higher price and you would get half off of the $10 tutorial.
Right. And if you buy 2 that are the same price, one of them will just get cut in half.
Right.
So we have 39 as kind of a sweet spot for several of our tutorials. If you buy 2 of those, one will be 19-ish. So that's a great deal as well. And remember, they start on Thanksgiving and will run through end of day on December 1st. So those are Black Friday sales. Now, speaking of Black Friday, however, we have something else special going on that day, don't we?
We do. We have our open house on Black Friday, and that is from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Come one, come all, eat some virtual leftovers with us. Hang out. Let's have some fun. And that's just a fun time for us to hang out and share and talk, and we can discuss products or electronics or whatever you guys want. These end up being very fun, and we always enjoy them. We would love to have you come, stay for 30 minutes or the whole time, whatever you want, and we would love to have you. It's essentially, just as Chris said, an open house. So we can talk about whatever you want, and you'll meet a nice group of people. And I do have an announcement that I want to make at some point during the open house, probably midway through or something, when we have the most people, because there's a couple things I want to share with y'all. But generally speaking, it's just going to be whatever you guys want to talk about. And Chris and I will kind of moderate the discussion and lead things. But you guys are nice. As long as we keep it nice and people aren't talking over each other, we're going to be good. And so just follow proper netiquette and all will be well. And the information will be in the show notes for you. I'll also make sure they go out in a newsletter, and they'll also go out on the news page. All this information will be available to you. Now, one more Black Friday related thing. As Chris mentioned earlier, our Windows tutorial is available for pre-order. It will be available on Cyber Monday, which is November 30th. So that's when it will actually be released to all of you. When it is released, the sale price will go away.
The sale price for the pre-order will go away. However, we will put it back on sale for another day and a half or another 2 days, and we will drop the price down to $65. So from $75 to $65 will be a pretty good deal.
So if you want to pre-order now, great. That just gives us more motivation and incentive. We always appreciate those pre-orders. And of course, you won't be charged until November 30th. So if you want to order now, you'll still save a pretty good amount. If you are one of those people who would rather wait and be able to have instant access to it, we understand that. We will give you a deal Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday for $10 off the full price. So however you do it, thank you either way. We are looking forward to being able to get that out to you guys because it's been a long time coming.
Another thing that we want to remind you of is this week's free November class. And this is a class that you won't hear much of me in.
No, he kind of tunes out.
What happens is Kim and Lisa will be talking about small workable appliances that they have used, and they call it the pint-sized kitchen.
Yeah, it's for those of you who need more space and have all your stuff in your space. For those of you who are perhaps living in a small apartment or condo, or you just don't have a lot of counter space. And we always do something food related for the last class of the year. And so this kind of falls into that category. It's usually food or shopping or something that we do. So this kind of falls into both categories. We had a lot of fun putting it together, and we hope you guys will like it. So whether you cook or know someone who does, or you're just someone who wants to enjoy using your kitchen a little more economically and practically and have some fun with your items accessibly, we have goodies for you. So if you came to last month's class, for instance, on accessible household items, and perhaps you want to talk specifically about your kitchen, then this class will be of interest to you. So this is how we are ending the year, and this class will be on Thursday, November 19th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you were on the events list, I will get y'all an invite, and you will have the information to join us. We will let y'all know the moment that an invitation is ready, you will receive it. So if you're not on our list, please join our events list, and the information will be zoomed to you the moment I have a chance.
Now, we have 2 new products coming.
We do, speaking of things that are coming.
We do. For those that have asked us repeatedly, multiple times, if we were going to get the Havit Bluetooth transmitter back in stock, the answer is no. But
They're gone.
They're gone. No longer to be found. You can't even really find them on eBay, and if you can, they're much more than you'd be willing to pay for them. We got a few more people in November this month to ask us if we had Bluetooth transmitters.
Somebody asks at least every couple weeks,
Right.
regularly.
We found one that we really like, and that will be up for sale sometime in the next few days. This is a transmitter receiver. It has on-off switch, which is very cool. It also has buttons to let you control your media on a device in receive mode, such as an iPad or phone or what have you. So it's got those. It's a really, really cool device. It's Bluetooth 5. It has a pretty good range as well.
Yeah, it's certainly nicer in terms of range than anything we've offered in the past. It's also really nice because you guys will no longer have to count with it, and we'll explain more about that when it comes out with the tutorial.
We don't have a firm price as of yet, but it's going to be around the $59 range. That includes our tutorial that we're going to put together for it.
Yeah, and we're going to have a little fun with this tutorial. I think we're actually going to do this one together, which we've never done for a transmitter tutorial. So that'll be kind of fun and different. And this actually does offer some additional features that we've never offered before with a transmitter receiver. We're anxious to share it with you guys and let you know how it's going to work. I think you'll be very, very pleased. It's got really good battery life as well. I think it's 14 hours. It's close to that. We will absolutely let you know more about it. And it's not going to go out for pre-order, but stay tuned to the website if you are interested in purchasing, or give us a call and let us know that you want to know when it's out. But give us a few days. If you give us to the end of the week, most likely it will be out or really close. So maybe give us to the beginning of next week if you're listening to this on release date. And it should be out very soon and available for you, certainly before Thanksgiving. So it will be out and available. And yes, you can save 10% on it during Thanksgiving holidays.
The final new product that we are going to release is a headphones. The headphones are really, really nice headphones. They have voice prompts. They have Bluetooth 5, and they have really nice range and really nice sound as well.
They really, really do. They offer noise cancellation. They have bass if you want it. You don't have to have it. It's like a bass boost. And the battery life is insane. So we think you guys are going to be really, really pleased. Again, we're going to be offering these to you for certainly less than $90. And they will be available, and I think you're going to be delighted with them. So we got to get that tutorial done as well. And Chris just got his headphones, so we're playing with them a little longer. But they do have nice voice prompts, and they have nice musical prompts as well. So you really know what's going on, what's happening, and using them is a snap. So we think you're going to be really excited about these. And sound quality, guys, we have never offered headphones with this kind of sound quality before. So we're going to do this at an economical price for y'all, and I think you're going to be very thrilled. So again, like with the transmitter receiver, stay tuned. As soon as it's available, we will let y'all know. I'll put something out publicly on the news page, and you guys will know about it. And certainly if you're on the newsletter, you'll find out about it as well. Just stay tuned, and we will let you know as soon as we can get that information up for you. We're recording this the week the podcast comes out, And this is probably our busiest week of the entire year. So just hang out with us and we will let you know as soon as we have more information.
Now, on to the castle interviews.
Yes.
Kim wants to tell us who they are.
I do. I want to share a little bit of information, and you'll hear this in the interviews. Basically, what we decided to do this holiday season is have conversations with a few entrepreneurs who we have worked with in the course of the last couple of years. Entrepreneurs who are part of the blindness community, who have really cool stuff to offer, and give them a platform, in some cases a larger platform than what they were used to perhaps, to provide their offerings. And so some of you may be familiar with the ladies who we're speaking to today, and some of you may not, but it is going to be a great pleasure to introduce you to, via these interviews, Charlotte Lang and Helen Kobeck. And if you don't know them, you soon will. And I definitely encourage you to support these fine ladies and their entrepreneurial efforts. So into the castle we go.
Welcome to the Mystic Access Magic Castle.
So welcome to this segment in the Mystic Access Magic Castle. We are really excited to be here today, and we decided to do something different for this holiday season. We decided to feature some entrepreneurial people with whom we had great experiences over the past couple of years. And we found a few who we absolutely wanted to talk to. And when we began having this discussion, this person came to the top of my list very quickly as someone who I knew I wanted to have on, because we get to talk about one of my favorite passions today. So some of you are probably just going to want to go, oh no. But we're going to talk about jewelry. We're going to talk about gemstones. We're going to talk about fun stuff. With us today is Charlotte Lang, who offers a wide variety of handmade, handcrafted jewelry, among other goodies that she's doing. We originally met through the Blind Dads list, where she often offers a tremendous amount of jewelry. And she had so many things that tempted me, and she wrote great descriptions for them. And I was able to go, what do I really want? So the first thing I ordered from her, I ordered a couple items, but one of them was a Larimar bracelet. And I get compliments on that thing every time I wear it. So it is so fun to be able to say, oh yeah, this is a piece that I really love, and it's a piece that's a staple of my wardrobe. And it is really fun to be able to share some of these great craftspeople with all of you on the podcast. So we're just going to kind of run free with this particular segment and find out all about Charlotte's offerings. So welcome. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the offer and the time to talk about what I do, and I'm glad that I was one of the ones that you picked, because, hey, that's kind of an honor.
There you go. Well, our pleasure. It was so fun. And in fact, I'm wearing some unicorn earrings that I got from you right now because I needed to smile today. So I said, hey, I'm just going to throw these on. But it is very much fun. And it's fun supporting other people within the community and hopefully getting them some more love in terms of their offerings. How'd you get into this? How'd this start for you?
Well, I think crafting was kind of in my genetics, because growing up, when my grandmother would babysit me, she always sewed, crocheted, and crafted, and I was always in her sewing room, and she would always throw her fabric scraps on the floor. Well, I started kind of gathering fabric scraps, and then I would start stringing beads, and I've been stringing beads since I can remember, and I just started making things, and I can remember in school, middle school, high school, making necklaces for classmates and things like that. And I did my first this year, which actually I'm not doing any craft shows this year, of course, because of all the lovely fun things that have been going on. But December 6th of this year will be my 23rd year. I was 19. Oh boy, I just dated myself. But I was 19, and I did my first craft show on December 6th of 1997. I was by myself, and I was totally blind, and I had no clue what I was doing, and I learned pretty fast.
That is cool. Did you find a lot of support within the crafts industry, or how did that work?
I pretty much just did what I did. A lot of times while I was doing craft shows, I didn't really tell vendors that I was blind until I got there. Just, because then again, you're going to get all the questions. Well, how do you do this if you're blind, or blah, blah, blah. But most of the promoters were fantastic to work with. I had a few that were like, they kind of were like, what? But most of the vendors were and have been absolutely phenomenal to work with. And I've met other people, other crafters and other small business owners, and I'm Facebook friends with some of them still throughout the years. And so, yeah, I would say I did have a good amount of support throughout the years.
That's awesome. I'm not a craft person. Craftiness did not come down to me, unfortunately. Although my grandmother was also a seamstress and also threw me her scraps, which was fun. And that was always something that I wanted to be better at. But I am a terrible seamstress. It did not come down to me. And my mother, of
Oh,
course,
no.
did the ceramics thing. You and I are close in age. So, we had that experience where my mom
Right.
was always doing ceramics
Yeah,
and,
and
very
my mom's
artsy.
Yep, my mom's into cross stitch, and she makes ornaments, and now she paints ceramics. Now, see, I can't sew. Well, I can hand sew if I have to, but I don't like to.
Yeah, that's about as much as I'm going to do. I'm going to sew on a button or something, and that's
Yeah.
going to be about the extent of that. But yeah, I didn't get that. But what I do love is jewelry and gems and all of these things. I probably could have been a geologist or something if I would have really wanted to, because that just always appealed to me. I
Yeah.
find it all fascinating and interesting. And I wonder, as a blind entrepreneur, from an organizational standpoint, how have you found ways to know what's what, what's where, all these things where you've got all these various stones and many of them relatively similar in shading to one
Oh,
another,
yeah.
or, how does that work?
Well, and like I said, back to your comment about the gemologist, we actually had a gemologist come to our school in high school for career day, and I was one very depressed individual when I was told that, yes, you have to have sight to be a gemologist. So,
Yeah.
but, well, organization, I think, has developed over the years. I think, and you never find a concrete system. It's an ongoing system, I think, depending on your space constraints and all this, which
Sure.
I finally just moved to a 2-bedroom apartment last year. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. So I was able to devote a room to my work space, and
Nice.
I have my computer and my jewelry items. And what I found that works best for me with my beads is there are these, I think they're meant for hardware or garages, but they can either hang or they can sit on a desk. I've got mine sitting on a desk, and I have 6 of them. And I could probably use some more, but I don't have room for any more. But anyway, that's another subject. I have so many beads, it's just not even good. But they have smaller and larger drawers, and the pen friend is my friend. I use the barcode labels because I like them because you can re-record. So say
Yep.
I run out of a particular stone, I can say, okay, well, we're going to redesignate this drawer for this because these beads are no longer, in stock. I'm not going to get them back, so we're going to change things up. So I like the versatility of the pen friend in that respect because I can change up the drawers or the spaces or whatever. And then with the finished jewelry, a lot of times I have trays and I have Ziploc bags. And again, I kind of just organize things together and by price. Price is a good way that I do it because I know that, okay, if I have a $12 bracelet, it's going to be in the bag of $12 bracelets. So again, it's just kind of improvisation, a lot of it, and a lot of labeling. And then, you know what you order. When I
Sure.
order supplies, sometimes I do have to ask a neighbor to help, sort, hey, are these the red ones or the blue ones? But if I do happen to order the same shape of a particular stone or whatever, then I just go ahead and put it in the tray right away. And then that drawer is labeled, so then it's already taken care of. And then when I go to look for a specific bead, they're already labeled, and I can find what I need, and that's that.
That's cool. I assume you have certain suppliers who you trust to make sure you're getting the quality of stone and everything that you
Yeah.
want.
I usually, sometimes, well, this year, of course, that hasn't been able to happen, but
Sure.
I go to some local gem and mineral shows as well, and I've been going to those for, 6 or 7 years now. It's been a while, and so there's certain vendors now that I've kind of built up relationships with, and then I also have some online vendors that I kind of know their product, know what they have, and know what they will and won't, have.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really nice. And I also really like the fact, and those of you who haven't bought from Charlotte before or know about her stuff, I'm going to let her promote away here in a second. But I like to ask some preliminary stuff, both because I like to and both because I'm interested and I'm crazy about this kind of thing. And I have more jewelry than one person really should. And I'll keep adding to it because, come on, I'm addicted. So,
You just don't even understand. I have a whole jewelry armoire of personal jewelry.
Oh, I do too.
And it's full and it's bad. Yeah.
I understand totally. So, I'm going to continue this addiction because I love it, but I don't give myself as much as I once did. And the fact that you have such very affordable, tremendously affordable, especially for the gems that you're offering, because I know enough about it to go, whoa, seriously? That's very impressive to me and means a lot as someone who loves it and wants to make these purchases. That's fantastic. But I love the fact that in addition to offering tremendous gemstones, you'll often offer sterling for your earrings, which means a lot to me because I have really sensitive ears, and I know
Yep,
that probably
that
means a
makes two
lot
of
to
us.
a lot of people. So that kind of thing is amazing. I guess from here, let's just go ahead and I'm just going to let you go and play for a while and tell us some things that, highlights that you want to hit for people who have never met you or never bought from you before.
Well, like you said with the sterling, I'm going to basically go off of what you just commented at first here. With the sterling silver, I have sensitive ears too, always have, and ever since I was a little girl, my mom would say, don't buy her cheap earrings. She can't wear them. You better buy sterling silver.
Yep.
So when I started making earrings, that was one of the things that became a real priority for me, was to have the sterling silver. And I have the silver tone too for my seasonal jewelry, but I always can do sterling on request. It's a little more in price, but not exorbitantly more in price. So, and as to the pricing, hey, we're all on a budget, especially a lot of people in the disabled community.
Sure.
Most of us have limited means. And so I really try to source items that are inexpensive and that I do a lot of closeout buys. Like when I go to gym shows, I hit the clearance tables, honey. Hit the clearance tables. And I tell who's ever with me, nope, we're not looking at regular price stuff. Go to the 75% off. And so for that reason, a lot of my items are one of a kind. So a lot of times, if something sells out, I may or may not be able to replace it. Now, some of my items I have in stock all the time. It's something that I can remake again and again and again, and that's no problem. But a lot of my pieces, if I get in something, I may or may not be able to replace it. So if you're looking on my website later on and you're like, there's one available, well, that one goes, chances are 9 times out of 10, it may not come back. So that's, there's good sides and bad sides to getting things at really good prices. That, you can get a really good deal, but then a lot of times once it's gone, that's it. But then on the flip side, you have something that nobody else has too. So
Exactly.
that can be good. But I started basically, when I started doing craft shows, back around 2000, or early, when the computer industry really started to take off, I really wanted a website. I wanted a website so bad. I just, that was my goal. And I started advertising on the email lists back in 2008 or 9. It's been a lot of years. And I always wanted a website. But of course, again, as a totally blind person, taking good pictures is an obstacle. That's always, yeah. So finding someone or finding help to do that has always been fun. Luckily now I've pretty much got that worked out, so that's always good. And then, of course, when my mom comes up to visit me, I get free labor. Hey, Mom, take these pictures.
Yeah, right. That's what moms do sometimes. Yo, Mom,
absolutely.
help me out here. Yo.
Exactly. So, that helps out too, and she's really good at it. She does a fantastic job. So a lot of times if I know she's coming, I save up a whole bunch of stuff. And
here's a huge box, Mom. Let's have some fun.
Exactly. We had 3 gallons of bags in October. Or September.
Oh, my gosh.
It was over 200 pictures.
Wow.
So, yeah. But, as a one-person operation, you kind of have to get creative sometimes to accomplish things, and that's what I do a lot of times. I have learned over the years to get creative. But in 2000, I believe it was 16 or 17, anyway, somewhere in that area, I found out about a place called Amazon Handmade. And I submitted paperwork, and of course you have to go through this big process to do Amazon Handmade, and I got accepted, and I have been selling on Amazon Handmade for the last, I'm going to say 4 years. I may be wrong on that, but whatever. I still wanted my own website. I still wanted the control. Around the same time as I started on Amazon, I also set up an eBay store. So I have that as well because, it doesn't hurt to have all your eggs not in one basket. And so this year, with the advent of the pandemic, or whatever you want to call it, obviously a lot of people were at home a lot. So I played around with a platform called Shopify. And I figured out how to get my own website set up. And that was one of my goals that I have finally achieved. And I'm very happy with my website. It's very accessible and easy to use. It's laid out by heading. It has a very good and thorough search feature. So, for instance, if you're looking for the unicorn earrings, like Kim had said, you can put unicorn earrings in the search bar. I also have things broken down by category. Some categories are quite lengthy, quite extensive. I probably need to do some more work on breaking them down further, but you can browse through those, or again, you can search. I have the categories that I have broken down are Christmas jewelry, gemstone bracelets, gemstone earrings, gemstone pendants, and gemstone necklaces. Those are pretty much the things that I make is bracelets, necklaces, pendants, and earrings. I really don't do too much with rings because I'm not really a metalsmith. I do beadwork and a little bit of wire work, and I use a lot of charms like with the unicorns that she was talking about. So, forging metal, I'll work with sharp objects, but I'm not too much into hot objects. They tend to do things to the body that could be bad, detrimental. So we've got Christmas jewelry, gemstone bracelets, earrings, necklaces, and pendants. And then you've got your homepage, which is where I feature like a couple of my best-selling items. And then we've got jewelry sets because a lot of people love their matching pieces. So this category has your exact matching jewelry sets. And then we've got your miscellaneous gifts where sometimes I come across things that aren't really jewelry, but they're kind of fun, so I might post a few things there. And then you've got what I call your novelty charm jewelry. This is where all of my charms are, and I've got, an amazing assortment of charms. I've got, we skipped a category, Halloween jewelry, which Halloween's over, but hey, some people like Halloween all year, so you never know.
Yeah,
Then in your novelty charm, I've got animals, I've got pet themes, I've got tons of different dog breeds, cats in different poses, sports themes of all kinds, hobbies, knitting, like I said, animals, mythical stuff. I mean, you name it, it's going to be there. Then I have a separate subcategory called pet-themed jewelry. And that's where all your doggy and kitty stuff is going to be found for all you, fur beast lovers. And then we have categories other bracelets, other earrings, other necklaces, other pendants. These are basically, if it's not a gemstone, it falls into these categories. So that's how the website is kind of broken down, and that way you can kind of find what you're looking for. And again, like I said, the search feature is fantastic. So if you're looking for an amethyst necklace, you can go in and you can put in amethyst necklace, and it'll come back and it'll show you all of the amethyst. And it's very straightforward. It's very easy to navigate. There's not a lot of clutter on the site. I'm very, very happy with the way that it turned out navigational-wise. I've had lots of compliments from the blind community about how accessible it is, and that, to me, as a blind person, means a tremendous amount. Another little bonus thing, my prices on the website start at $9.99 and go up from there. And by go up, I don't mean go up astronomically. I mean, probably the most expensive thing you're going to find on my website is going to be $59.99, if I'm not mistaken. And another thing that I offer is I offer free first-class U.S. shipping through my website. So everything ships, what the price is when you are looking at the page is what you're going to pay, is the final price you will be paying. And if you want to ship items to other people for gifts, you can add a different shipping address than the billing address. There's a way to do that so that you can ship your items to whoever they need to go to, and you don't have to worry about that, and it's all taken care of on my end. And you can also upgrade to priority mail for $4.75 additional, which, speaking of shipping, most of you probably already know that the post office is experiencing delays. So the sooner you can get your orders in for Christmas, the better, because I have a feeling the closer it gets to that August occasion, it's going to get crazy with the mail. It's just not going to be good. So that is my advice. But I have lots of different Christmas jewelry. Most of my Christmas earrings are in the $9.99 range. My charm earrings are in the $9.99 to $12.99 range. If you don't want to go through the website, you can always send me an email. I will take orders by PayPal if that's easier. If you would like, say if you find a pair of Christmas earrings, like say you saw the gingerbread man earrings or the nutcracker earrings, you're like, well, I really like these, but I really like sterling silver hooks instead of the silver tone. Email me. It's a $3 charge additional for sterling silver. I can do that. I can take care of it, and I can get you the ones for sterling silver. So I do some custom, just depending on what it is. Again, I can't make you a wedding ring or anything like that. That's not my forte. But, if you got something in mind, there's a possibility that I might be able to do something. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can. It just depends. But it never hurts to ask, and I will do my best to see what I can do.
Awesome. It is really just fun to be able to chat about all the goodies that you offer. And she's right. The site is very, very extensive. It's very, very fun. And your descriptions are great. So they really help you to know, okay, this is what this is. You know how some sites, and of course you're aware of this, but you know how some
Oh,
sites you
Lord.
go on and you're trying to figure out what something is, and they've got all these images, and they have like a 5-sentence or
Two-word
5-word
description?
description. Yeah,
Yes.
right. Exactly. That's what we don't want, because that's not
No.
helpful. So you're not going to have that problem with
No.
Charlotte's items. The other thing I have to compliment you on, since I've had experience with it, is stretch bracelets. When you get a stretch bracelet, sometimes you get a stretch bracelet, and 3 times after you bought it, your stuff goes across the room and everywhere, and you have
Oh.
now lost it. And you do not want that. That's not what you want to
No.
experience. And that is not something that you're going to experience with your stuff. It's really high quality.
Well, again, it depends on the cord you use. I
Sure.
use the absolute thickest cord that I can get through the bead. Usually I use a 1 millimeter thick stretch cord. Again, if I can't get that, then I'll go to the next. But I use the thickest cord I can possibly get through the beads. And sometimes getting that cord through the beads is interesting, and I wouldn't want to be in my office if I were you on those days. But but no, I struggle with the 5-word descriptions also. And I put measurements in my descriptions, so you know how big the piece is. I try to, if there's any extra details, I try to include those, because I know that it's frustrating not to be able to have a good description. And yeah, a picture is nice if you can see it, but I like having that description too.
Exactly. And you want to know what you're getting. And for those of us who love this stuff and buy it a lot, you want to know, because you know kind of what size of earring you like and what size of bracelet you wear. I mean, that stuff kind of comes second nature to you. So it's important to know and to be able to just look at a description and say, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. So that's going to be an experience you guys are going to very much enjoy. So I definitely recommend you go check out the website. And before we give your contact info, is there anything you want to add?
I can't really think of anything else. I think I pretty much covered. I mean, like I said, it's just so hard to highlight items because I have so many items. I mean, I think last count my inventory was slightly over 1,600 pieces. It's kind of scary.
Wow.
It's kind of scary.
That's a lot. It's just more for us addicts to have to wade through to find lots and lots of goodies to add to our collections.
Right?
It's okay. It's okay. I'll survive. I'll just save my pennies. So tell us about this great website. Where do we go and how does that work?
My business name, if any of you have seen my advertisings on the email list, I come across as Mama Otter. So that's kind of my husband actually gave me that name, and it kind of stuck because I love otters, and we have lots of fur babies in the house. And so one day, I think one of the kids was acting up or something. He goes, I wouldn't make Mama Otter mad. And it just kind of stuck. So it was available, and I was so excited. It was kind of funny. You should have seen me the day that we were buying the domain names, and I saw that I was very excited. But I was able to actually acquire the website of www.mamaotter.com.
Awesome.
So I was quite excited over that. It's simple, and it's basically what I go by, and that's what most people know me as.
And I assume if anybody has questions for you, they can contact you via the site.
They can contact me via the site, and I'll also give my email address, because I certainly don't mind. If you're wanting to contact me about something specific, you're more than welcome to email me. I do check my email several times a day, so I would say at the most give me 2 business days to respond. It probably will be before that, but that's kind of the timeline I give myself. But my email address is Sirius, and that's SIRIUS _ Black, BLACK. Yes, it's from Harry Potter, for those of you that are curious, at Comcast.net. Again, that's Sirius, SIRIUS _ Black, BLACK, at Comcast.net.
So, guys, your job is to go support a fabulous craftswoman for Christmas and the holiday season, and go buy yourself something while you're at it, because it's been a crazy year. Let's end it with some jewelry, some sparkle. Thanks, Charlotte.
And, this isn't just for girls either, because,
Exactly.
guys, you got women in your life that, need Christmas presents or, whatever, so. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Everybody needs some bling.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Charlotte. It's been awesome to have you on, and appreciate you sharing your goodies with us.
Yeah, like I said, when you sent me the invitation, I was like, oh, this sounds kind of cool.
Happy holidays, Mystic Access listeners. This is Santa, sending you warmest greetings from my extremely busy workshop. I'll be climbing down your chimney to stuff your stockings full of Christmas cheer before you can say Kris Kringle. And if you've been especially good, I'd love to bring you some special shiny gifts from Mystic Access to make your holidays extra bright. Before I make my list and check it twice, be sure to check out the Mystic Access shop page to find your favorite treats, or something to make those you love very merry. Need ideas? Check out the podcast, listen to samples on mysticaccess.com, or give Chris and Kim a call at 716-543-3323. Merry Christmas, and I expect particularly delicious milk and cookies from you this Christmas Eve. And don't forget the reindeer. They get extra hungry pulling my humongous heavy sleigh around the world. See you soon. Ho, 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 ho.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mystic Access Magic Castle. We are doing something interesting and different this time, and we decided to showcase some blind entrepreneurs that we have specifically worked with. And we have a couple people that we have worked with, we found on the Blind Ads mailing list. And I interacted with Helen Kovac because I decided to purchase a present for Kim. And I remember asking Helen if I could ship it to somebody else because I obviously didn't want to come here. I wanted to go to Kim. And she listed the product, and it was a globe. It was a really nice glass globe. Very, very tactile. The descriptions were amazingly accurate. And when you said you could feel the continents, I was like, I just have to get this. So I sent an email and got a response. And we wanted to showcase people that we've worked with and we feel, aren't going to rip you off.
We're going to sell you good, high quality stuff.
Exactly. Sometimes you see these people on these lists and you're like, okay, I'm selling a $15,000 product for $20. Okay, yeah, let's not. So, but you just want to make sure that you get the right product. And I was really impressed with the globe. I was impressed with the interaction. And I'm also impressed with your interaction with other people and all of the feedback and the stuff that you get from other people that have purchased from you. So, besides the globe, what can you tell me? What else? What other kind of trinkets do you have or things do you have?
That I have now or that I have sold or
both?
Like what? Oh, sure. Well, last Christmas I found and put up Audible Santa Clauses and Audible snowmen that would sing, when they were motion sensitive things. So they would sing a song when you'd walk by. And a lot of people were interested in those. So those were fun to put up for Christmas time. So I had those at that time. I always have clothing that I find in thrift stores that I think are unique and interesting that I'm able to describe in detail. So usually clothing is something that people are very interested in. And then salt and pepper shakers seem to be really powerful interest that, funky ones. So I just sold a pair of shakers that I bought maybe 2 weeks ago that were pumpkin shaped. That one said thankful and one said blessed on it.
Aww.
So yeah, people are looking so I look for things that are unique. I very rarely sell multiples of any particular thing because I'm not really that kind of, I respect people who do that, but that's not my interest. I like finding individual, unique things. And if a lot of people are interested in a thing, if I can find more of them than I do, like the Santa Claus, there was a lot of interest in it, the Audible ones, but that type of thing. I have coming up, I am actually starting to custom make jewelry. So I started doing this because people started writing to me from the list saying, can you make me a necklace that looks like this, that will match the earrings that I have, or can you make earrings that match a necklace that I have? So I've started custom making jewelry, which has been really fun and nice to be able to do. So that's been a sweet experience. And then I also have ready to put up some self-treatment acupuncture items. So, or not acupuncture, ouch, but acupressure. So things that you can do on specific acupuncture points, but without the puncturing, because a lot of us can't leave the home or we can't afford to go to an acupuncturist. So there's these items that I'm going to be putting up pretty soon that are easy to use and safe and that are just really healing. And then I also do something every 6 months or so called Tiny Treasures, where I've found over the previous months a lot of little small things that are really low cost that can be used as like stocking stuffers or just as a treat. So I have some little tactile marbles that are about an inch in diameter where you can also feel. They're much smaller. The continents are much smaller on them, but they're very tactile marbles. I do look for tactile things. So things that are, I have a little gorilla keychain where you can stick the thumb into its mouth and you can hang it on a window or something and kind of like, so there's just all these fun, ridiculous things that I find. And then there's also people who write to me and say, I'm looking for anything that's dragonfly or anything that's this or that has a Chinese feel to it. So I sometimes will look for things specifically and offer them offline too. So I do kind of sort of almost like a personal shopping for people to have a relationship with. But it's definitely a whole variety. I mean, I look for variety and things that are fun, that are interesting or comforting or just, playful and special. Yeah.
I've noticed that about the things that you put up. I
Yes.
mean, there's nothing that's the same.
Mm-hmm.
You had a unicorn pillow on list a couple weeks ago that someone bought and raved about, and I thought, God, if I had any room in this house, I would have bought that first.
That was so cool. I sat with it like I literally said, I think in the post I said, I can't stop playing with this. I can't stop. Someone make me stop. I said that in the post. And it was true. I was like roughing it back and forth. It changed colors. So I could see the colors and I could say, I have to sell this. I have to put this up because I won't get any sleep. Yeah.
I remember asking you because I wanted a globe for myself. So I remember asking you if you had another one, and unfortunately you didn't. But I ended up finding one.
Cool.
And it is really, really cool. And the nice thing about it is you can't break it. I've already,
Yeah.
it's already rolled off because I have it on my hutch.
Uh-huh.
So it's actually rolled off my hutch, hit the desk, and hit the floor, no problem.
Awesome. That's.
I told Kim one day, I said, I want to
cry
break
if I
the
had one of
world.
mine. Yeah, he's trying to break the world. Oh, breaking the world. It's got enough problems. Please
I
don't
know.
break it.
That's really sweet. So thank you for letting me. You did write to me and say that you'd gotten another one. I'm like, that's so great. I'm so glad.
Yeah, it's fun, but just all the different things that you come up with, it's fascinating to
Yeah. Oh,
to
thank
see.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the fun part about it. I live in a place where there's a lot of really nice thrift stores. So I go in there and I poke and grope my way around. Is what I really do. I'm like, touch. I'll say, can someone tell me what color this is? I mean, I'm a feeler with that. So I just go in. I think that was, yeah. So it's fun. It's a fun activity. Yeah.
Have you gotten to have rapport with the people in the thrift stores, like the owners and stuff? Do they know? They say, oh, here comes Helen. What can we find for her?
Actually, yeah, they do. They
Yeah.
do. And partly because I go up to them and say, can you tell me what color, if I'm not sure about the color, or there's an image on this, what exactly is that image? So I interact with the staff a lot. So yes, I do. I have a good rapport with a lot of those places that I go to. It's quite nice. They'll say, hey, by the way, there is this, turkey shaped salt shaker that just came in. Would you like me to get that for you? I'm like, yeah, that's really great.
Has anybody actually saved anything for you? Like this is something that they know you would want. So have they just like put something aside, and then by the time you come in, has anybody ever done that?
And wouldn't that be nice? Nobody has from the stores. I have friends who have, who've either given it to me or sold me things that I could then, turn around with other people that I knew would be looking. So yeah, but not from the stores. That would be really nice. I could go over to them and say, can you save some things for me?
Yeah, right.
Save me some things.
There you go. But
Yeah.
I just remember because before I moved, I know it's not the same, but before I moved, I used to go get fish fries every Friday. And I used to do it before coming home from work. So I'd walk by the place, go in and get my fish fry, have to wait and go home. So there were quite a few times when I'd walk in, they'd say, your fish fry's ready here.
They knew you
Yes.
said flock by Chris. That is
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like 3:30 in the afternoon. Here comes Chris wanting his fish fries.
That's neat. Yeah.
I want to back up a second because you're doing this entrepreneurial thing. You're finding this cool stuff. But I want to back up for just a second because you are a very busy lady with lots of varied goodies on your plate and talents aside from your entrepreneurial deal. For those people who have not had the pleasure of meeting you yet, and you guys will have the pleasure of learning more about Helen in an upcoming insert for the podcast because we have a tremendous discussion coming up very soon about something very important. And in the meantime, though, give us a little bit of getting to know you. Who are you?
Who am I? So I live in Cambridge, and what do I do? I'm a writer, I'm a journalist, and it's always hard for me to know what to say about myself.
I think we're all like that a little bit.
Oh man. So I'm a writer and a journalist. I'm also an accent modification teacher, so that's really more my lead profession is I teach people who are mostly people who are fluent in English but have a hard time being understood. I help them get to a place where they're either understood all the time or where on the rare occasion where someone wants to get rid of their quote unquote accent, I help them to sound standard American, but mostly I help them be understood all the time. So that's the lead work that I do. I have sort of a bachelor's degree in communication disorders and did a lot of phonetics training. So that's the work that I do. That's on a tutoring basis with adults, and that's a lot of fun. And I love that work. That's my original work. And then I love spending time with my partner and with friends, and I like hiking in the woods alone. I like to do that alone or with maybe one other person who just won't talk very much because I like being in nature quietly. And I also host once a month or so live when it was live in person and then otherwise on Zoom with friends, cycling different friends and improv comedy events. So
fun.
Yeah, so that's just a lot of fun. Gives us a chance to be other people and interact with each other. And, I assign roles. Okay, so you're a lilac bush and you're meeting someone from the Social Security Administration. And then they'll have a conversation. And
I love it.
This is a lot of fun. So, yeah, people, I have different groupings of people. My partner and I cycle people through and we have a core of people. So that's just nice. I like to sing and I love to dance. And then that's kind of what I do. And I am legally blind myself in one eye since birth and then in the other eye since age 9. And, just sort of deal with that and live a good life. And yeah, does that say something
Beautiful.
about?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I forgot about accent modification training until you said it. And I thought, I can always recognize other people who have had tremendous diction exposure to experiencing their own diction and learning about diction because when you've done it, you hear it in what other people are saying and you can kind of tell when someone does it all the time. So I'm always aware of that. And I was like, oh, of course. That's why.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
I love accents. I'm always sad when someone calls and says, I want you to help me get rid of my accent. So first of all, I have an accent too. It's a standard American accent, but I think it's sad, but more and more these days because of fear of immigration detection and being discriminated against, more people want me to help them get rid of their accent. I just think it's terribly sad. Yeah.
One of the things I particularly love about your offerings and the way you present them is your descriptions of them, because I can visualize them so clearly and I can think, I know what this would be like if I got this into my home, which is dangerous, by the way, but thank you anyway. Is that part easy for you? Is that fun to come up with those descriptions?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is actually pretty easy because I am a writer and I like to, words come easily to me. So, I'm never sure whether to put the dimensions in first or whether to put the description and colors and textures and things in first and the dimensions later. So I tend to favor the dimensions later just to give people an idea of what the concept of the item is. So it does come pretty easily to me. And I'm so inclined, I'm grateful that it helps you be able to visualize it because that's what I want people to do. I want people to really know what they're getting because it's so hard for blind people to get things that are what they're looking for, what we're looking for. And you can go into a store and say, I want mineral oil without scent in it or something. So here you go, here it is. And then you get it home and it smells like,
right.
Mineral oil might be scented as. And I just couldn't see it on the label.
Yep.
We are at people's mercy. And I never want someone to be at my mercy. And And I want to be part of the merciful world where people can know what they're getting and know it really accurately. And so there's no surprises or disappointments because people are parting with their money, whether it's hard earned or whether it's, not earned, but they get it anyway. We have to be careful with our money. All of us do. And I consider it a sacred thing to be able to let people know exactly what it is. So I spend a lot of time measuring things and putting in the description, making sure I have all the numbers of pockets that are there. Is it zipped? Does it go from side to side? What color are the fasteners? I do spend a lot of time. And on the occasion when it feels like I can have some fun with it, then I do that too, because that's just, there's a lot of really funny people on the list. So I enjoy tickling each other, so to speak.
This is different for everybody, and I'm kind of curious about your take on it, but what is it for you about connecting with folks virtually to offer them your items that is joyful or fulfilling for you?
Yeah, that's a lovely question. Well, there's several levels to it. What drew me to actually doing it was reading the reviews of sellers, because it made me realize that people really want respect and they really want to know that they're going to be okay, that they're in good, trustworthy hands when they buy something. And integrity is something that's really an important part of my existence. There are things that are that I could work on, but I'm also integrity. I have tremendous integrity. And we all have aspects of ourselves that we express in different or share in different places in our lives with different people. And there are very few places or people where we can bring a whole lot of ourselves into one place at a time. And doing the selling is a place, like one of a very few places in my life, where I bring together a whole ton of my stuff about me that I really like. I really value my creativity and I value my resourcefulness, finding things. I value my ability to repair things if I want to and then send them, or to make them. I value my ability to really care sincerely about people. I have friendships that have developed with some of the people that I sell to, and they contact me and tell me what's going on in their lives, and then I'll write back to them, or we call each other. And so there's an ability for me to express my caring that way, but also just directly with my integrity through getting an item up, responding quickly to people, letting them know if it's already been taken or it might be taken. I'll let you know. I always get back to people to let them know it has been taken. I'm so sorry. I'll keep an eye out for another. Then I package it really well. So I've been asked if I have a PhD from MIT in packaging. And some people write to me saying, this was overly packaged and took me a half an hour. My fingernails are bleeding and how dare you? But I still would rather it be really protected, glass things that have things jutting out. I spend a lot of time packaging things really carefully and individually. So that integrity, that ability to think things through, how to do that, sending things out, promptly letting people know their tracking number and the arrival date of the item. And then if people contact me and say, it's been 2 weeks, it hasn't shown yet, I will kindly say to them, can we give it a little bit more time? None of the packages of probably 1,000 that I've sent out in the last year and a half have ever gone totally lost. They might have gone to Wichita, Kansas, and then back down to Georgia, and then up to Washington, D.C. That happened a couple of times, but they're always able to be tracked and traced. And what I appreciate is when people know that something hasn't shown up. I want to know. And then I have a relationship with a couple of people at USPS who enjoy a mystery, and they get on board and they get on email and they contact the last place it was and they shake it down and they get it loose and it goes moving. It starts moving within a day or two. And
I've got one of those too.
Have you?
Yes.
A trustworthy person?
Yeah, my mail carrier.
Good.
I've went to her with packages that were taking a little bit longer, and she's actually stood at my door, called her boss, and said, "Here's the tracking number. Let's look this up."
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I've never had. So that's even better. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, those people are beloved and incredible. But yeah, it brings together all of that. So I enjoy it. And then there's just the relationships, because I think relationships are just so vital to our lives and to our health. We need human connection, even if it's, hey, how are you doing? And do you have this? Can you find this for me? I can. I'll look for it. Blind ads is a loving, caring setting. where we can receive and give and make sure that people are getting our needs met and in a trustworthy way. So
I would say the majority, I would probably say, and you guys can either agree or disagree, I would probably say 85 to 90% of those people are caring. You do have the jerks from time to time.
yeah,
But those are really few and far between. The last thing you want to do is send somebody money on a mailing list and get ripped off. I mean,
horrible.
It is. And one of the things that I recently saw on the list was somebody who was selling stuff and saying, well, use family and friends. Use family and friends.
Oh, no.
You do not know, this is for the listeners. If you send somebody money for a product and
You don't know them.
Don't know them, don't use family and friends. Family and friends means you just send someone money and you don't care if you get anything for it.
You don't care if you get anything for it.
PayPal will not step in. And so even if you say, let's say I bought something from somebody one time, it was like $25. And they said, that's fine. So I knew I was going to do family and friends. So I gave them $27. I said, I know it's going to cost you $1 or $2. Here's the difference. So if that's how you want to cover it, that's fine. That way both you, the buyer and the seller, are both covered. If family or friends, you're not. Yeah.
And that's really important. I would never say to somebody, use family and friends, because it's intrusive.
Yeah.
And even with people who've been regular people who bought, 25 things from me, I would never. Some of them choose to do family and friends. I think it's now called someone you trust.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But goods and services I think it's always the way to go, unless you're absolutely sure that if there's a problem, you're going to be able to, you'll handle it in the relationship that you have with the person.
Right.
And for that reason, I don't bake in. People sometimes write to me, just have the price be goods and services baked in. And because there are people who choose to just do it as family and friends, probably maybe half of the people who are regular with me do it as family and friends because they've had a lot of experiences. They trust me. They know me. So I don't want to charge them for goods and services PayPal fees, which is like 6%, or no, it's like 3% plus 30 cents. I don't want to pass on a charge that they aren't going to be using. It doesn't feel fair.
Right.
So I just find out from them, are you going to be doing this as goods and services or as someone you trust? Here's the price for either one. I completely respect either one. And, that's a very important distinction and a warning to people. Yeah.
Yes. If you don't know the person or you don't have experience with other people who have had great experiences with the person, do yourself a favor.
Yes. Yes. Just a little bit more money.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you are now curious and want to learn more about the items that Helen will surely be posting in a not too distant future, you can join the Blind Ads list, which is Blind Ads, BLINDADS, plus the +, subscribe at groups.io. And that will get you subscribed to the list. As Helen said, it's a wonderful place to share and find cool things and meet new friends and all sorts of fun things and spend money. Sometimes we do that too, and that's great because we're sharing with other people and entrepreneurs, and it's a fabulous thing. That's a wonderful thing. So, Helen, thank you so much for sharing a little bit of what you are offering out into the world with our listeners.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you for the opportunity. It is a wonderful community and well cared for and well run. And happy shopping and happy sharing, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your visit to the Mystic Access Magic Castle. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you, everybody, for sticking around and listening to our announcements as well as the castle interviews. It was fun, and we've got more of those coming up as well.
We do. We have another couple castle interviews next episode, so definitely stay tuned. We will talk to y'all in December. Where does the time go?
It goes. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
The preceding podcast is a presentation of Mystic Access, where the magic is in learning. If you are blind or visually impaired and desire to discover how our comprehensive products and services may support and empower your assistive technology journey, we welcome your visit at www.mysticaccess.com. Have a question or wish to place an order via phone? Call us at 716-543-3323. If you have something to share about this podcast episode, press 4 to reach our Mystic Access podcast comment line. Email us at info@mysticaccess.com. Connect with us on Twitter at twitter.com/mysticaccess and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/mysticaccessempower. Would you like to spread the word about our podcasts? Your friends and colleagues may listen and subscribe at www.mysticaccesspodcast.com. If you enjoy our episodes, consider leaving us an iTunes rating and review. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks for spreading the word, and thanks for being a listener. We hope you enjoyed this episode.